Yeah, boy. You already know what today is. It's Update Mondays! What's going on with you guys? The TheCaliEffect, king of games here, and it is week 2 since being in full remission from rheumatoid arthritis. That's right, guys, we gotta set the goals, and right now we in 2 of kicking our boo's ass. I ain't kicked Sabrina yet. Speaking of sets, you guys already know it's Super September, but today is actually a really special day. It may not be my birthday, and I hope that she's watching it. I doubt that she is, but it's actually Sabrina's sister's birthday. Sabrina's sister, Tanea, is my favorite family member on that side of the family by far. I remember back then when we were a lot younger, you used to tell me, I'm grown, listening to your Nicki Minaj with your weird wigs and really weird makeup, but since then, you really have grown. You are a mother of 6 beautiful kids. I love all my nieces and nephews. You are an amazing businesswoman. You're smart, you're accomplished, you're talented, but most importantly, I gotta say, your booty still look like eyebrows. It ain't nothing that is going to change that, dog. No BBLs, nothing. Your booty will forever look like that. I'm sorry, dog. Like, seriously, I genuinely wonder how you sit with angry eyebrows. Like, your booty like this. How do you do it? It doesn't really matter, though, because you are the perfect sister to me. Just like how this is the perfect forbidden list for Yu-Gi-Oh! You can completely click off this video now. It has nothing to do with you. That's right, guys, just like every single ban list season, we are going to be doing the perfect forbidden list, but this time I got a little twist. So our perfect forbidden list video isn't a prediction list. I will have one of those a lot later. It is built to make as many decks as competitive as possible without breaking the meta. That's right, guys, imagine a meta where any deck can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Similar to the meta we have now, but even more decks can play Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually decided to do this perfect forbidden list so early because we are going to have a tournament. That's right, guys. If you guys join my Discord, it may not be too late to sign up and join the TheCaliEffect's perfect forbidden list tournament. We're gonna have so much fun going over these live duel videos on Twitch, possibly on YouTube. It's going to be insane, guys. Jump into the Discord and let's make this tournament as live as possible. It's gonna be extremely fun to see how perfect this forbidden list is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these mind-blowing changes that will make the perfect forbidden list. Moving on to our forbidden list, we have to start off with banned. Unfortunately, we're going to have to ban certain cards so we can bring cards off the list, and Predaplant Vert Anaconda actually fits that bill. Now don't worry, guys, I actually think Predaplant Vert Anaconda will seriously be banned, and that'll actually be saved for the prediction video, as this is not a prediction. This is the perfect forbidden list. Predaplant Vert Anaconda is actually the pinnacle of terrible card design. It requires 2 effect monsters to summon, and its only drawbacks is that you can't summon for the rest of the turn after you use this card's effect. Without getting into much detail about our prediction list, we're gonna have to hit Predaplant Vert Anaconda, because if we keep this card off the list, we're gonna have to continuously check over our shoulders when certain extenders come off the list, and also look at those certain fusion cards that may have to be hit because of Predaplant Vert Anaconda. I mean, if you really want to see how toxic Predaplant Vert Anaconda is, players are seriously talking about banning Red Eye's fusion because of Predaplant Vert Anaconda. In a perfect forbidden list, we get rid of genuinely problematic threats. Seriously, if you think that Red Eye's fusion is a bannable card, woo, you really need some counseling, because Red Eye's fusion should have never done you like that. Moving to limited, an immediate card that I wanted to address after banning Predaplant Vert Anaconda, because let's be honest, this just might have been too strong, is Orcus Harp Horror. Now, Orcus Harp Horror was initially banned because it was really splashable. Splashing the Orcus inside of any engine back in 2019 was insane. But now in 2021, I genuinely think as long as we have the threat of Predaplant Vert Anaconda, having a free dark extender that locks you into darks, which is a joke, can't exist. But once we get rid of Predaplant Vert Anaconda, we can allow cards like Orcus Harp Horror to come out, because while it does fuel an Orcus engine, it doesn't allow you to make Red Eye Dark Dragoon and fuel the Orcus engine in this particular list. That could be problematic. That and Orcus are struggling mightily without the use of Orcus Harp Horror. I debated on giving them Nightmare Mermaid too, but that sounded like all types of problems. Now, one thing I was looking into fixing was Pendulum. but there's actually a few problems with Pendulum, one namely being that we refer to an entire deck as a mechanic. I said this previously in a Perfect Forbidden List video, but the reason why Heavy Metal Pulse Electromite was banned is because Electromite promotes an amalgamation of strategies that we just so happen to call Pendulum. Did you guys forget that Endymion, Metal Foes, and Magicians are their own strategies? Did you guys forget that Pendulum is a mechanic, like Synchro in Fusion? You did? This is why Electromite is banned. The reason why we're taking it off this Forbidden List is because I can't control what cards come out and what cards say. With that being said, in an effort to make Pendulum as competitive as possible, well, I mean, Electromite's coming off the list. Making that 60 million negate board to lose to a Dark Ruler no more and a Forbidden Chalice because you have 0 cards in your hand is like, this is a really bad play. We're not in a Yu-Gi-Oh game anymore where putting up 16 negates is the win condition. Players can easily breeze past, well, maybe not 16 negates. Players can easily breeze past those type of disruptions and continue to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And speaking of breezing past, another card that I've been putting on quite the few Perfect Forbidden lists is Spellbook of Judgment. Now, all of the Yu-Gi boomers are definitely gonna post down below in the comment section and say, TheCaliEffect, you can't do that. This card was busted in my time, and I might not have been able to afford it, but I'm telling you, it'll ruin the format. Well, Yu-Gi Boomer, get in this Discord and prove me wrong. Show me that Spellbook of Judgment is so busted of a card and I'm wrong that this card should never exist. It feels weird to live in 2021 where I can say that Spellbook of Judgment is a good Yu-Gi-Oh card, but it doesn't define any type of meta. And lastly, a card that keeps on dipping in and out of the Perfect Forbidden list is a card that everybody loves. Free my nigga Thunder Dragon Colossus, as this time around we are going to bring it to limited on this particular list, and it's for good reason. I remember in a past Forbidden List video, I said I was really wary of this card because a dragon player can literally just splash this in and look, a free Thunder Dragon Colossus at the end of your board. And you guys won't believe what happened when I made that video. Look, a free Thunder Dragon Colossus at the end of everybody's board. It was seriously funny to see Dragon Thunder, Dino Thunder, Invoke Thunder, any deck that can play Thunder monsters, splash Thunder Dragon Colossus at their end sequence. Nowadays, I don't think that that's too much of a problem with Guard Dragon LP being banned, something that I said would have to happen for Thunder Dragon Colossus to come off. But also looking at how the Yu-Gi-Oh metagame has evolved, searching isn't the prime focus of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh has turned to a weird card game where searching, drawing, discarding, and sending from deck to the graveyard all live in perfect harmony. It's weird, but it works. This does actually make Thunder Dragon Colossus just slightly weak enough for me to test off the Forbidden list. Now, of course, I'm still really wary of cards like Nemesis Corridor and, of course, Prank Kids, but nowhere near weary as I was with Dino Thunder, Rocket Thunder, and Invoke Thunder. I mean, that was the fun times, and 2 of those decks are hit. For semi-limited, I'm gonna go ahead and make some very, very bold changes. These could wind up biting me back in the ass. But when I say Servant of Endymion coming to semi-limited, this is a card that has been on the Forbidden list at limited since the induction of Master Rule 5? I think 5's a good number for it. I don't think at the time of hitting Servant of Endymion it was a terrible idea, but now it's looking more and more terrible to have this card on the Forbidden list. Pendulum still suffer from the exact same thing since Master Rule 5. Hopefully Servant of Endymion and Heavy Metal Pulse Electromite will be a huge help. Another card that I feel extremely shaking on, but I'm going to go ahead and give it the okay. Semi-limited is where I'm going to be testing a lot of things, but can Sky Striker Mecha Modules multi-roll come to 2? Probably not, because it's the strongest card, but we're gonna do it anyways. This gives them another chance to get into Mecha Modules multi-roll by drawing it, and also if it does get disrupted by a card like Cosmic Cyclone, they have another one in deck. I also decided to give the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Its best extender, with Solomon Great Gazelle coming to 2. This is gonna be huge for Solomon Great players, as activating Pot of Desires does not feel bad when you banish that 1 copy of Gazelle, but again, does not change the power of the deck. But if you guys are loving or hating this Perfect Forbidden list, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna push you further towards that spectrum, as I'm going to put Reinforcement of the Army as semi-limited. Reinforcement of the Army makes tons of Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks consistent. But when you look at Reinforcement of the Army, it doesn't contribute to any type of FTK, any type of unfair advantage, and it doesn't push any decks over the top. What it does do is gives consistency to decks like Goki, Noble Knight, Phantom Knight, and a plethora of other warrior-based decks. I really don't see a huge problem with Reinforcement of the Army to 2. Not to 3, to 2. At least not yet. I don't see a problem yet. Now moving on to Unlimited, this is the part that everybody loves. I could seriously make this go on forever, as I think there's a couple of cards that should not be on the Forbidden list. There are monsters like Double Iris Magician that will also make my prediction list, and then there are also monsters like Performer Pal Skullcrobat Joker, a card that players would not think come off the list, but look what it's doing at 1. Moving on to other news, because you guys know how much I love Pendulum, you can see it in my face. Pendulum is my favorite mechanic, guys. Oh yeah, excited to see Pendulum. I'm actually going to bring Dynamite the True Draco Fighter off the list. I'm very confident that this actually does nothing as well. Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, comes off the Forbidden list. This card is a huge help to Burning Abyss decks. Also, for a side note, for some reason, players think that this card will be too busted at 3. Like, you know, any of the other decks that play this card and abused it needed more than 1. And the most controversial is going to be Skill Drain to 3. I'm not gonna cap, it does seem like I completely love glue, but I actually have a theory about Skill Drain being really healthy for this format. Monster effects are at an all-time high, with cards like Infinite Impermanence and Effect Veiler being extremely important. What if we threw Skill Drain into the equation, a card that's pretty easy to dodge, fairly easy to handle, but forces decks, you know, the top decks, to address Skill Drain inside of their deck, which could make them less consistent or give some of those anti-meta decks the help that it needs. Well, that is all that we have for the perfect Forbidden list. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then go ahead and check out these. And if you really did, consider joining that Discord to get in the tournament so you can show how powerful your deck is, or how wrong I am, or how fun this Forbidden list is. As always, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next video.